Hello everyone, ZeroMagnumX. Okay, so this is a video I talked about doing like a few days ago, maybe a week now. But I wanted to get it out of the way. Very unshaven ZeroMagnumX. That's what happens when you have one arm to work with. Anyway, uh, so I'm gonna get the biggest thing out of the way, and that is concerning Cardfight Vanguard with the channel. A lot of the subscriber counts and everything else was built on Vanguard for this channel, and I much appreciate it. The issue is with schedules, and the way Bushiroad is handling the game now, we've pulled away from it. So I'm going to dive more into that. The first thing is that we have to travel at least an hour away to play Cardfight Vanguard. Normally not an issue, normally not a problem. But to keep up with the metagame, core deck components are like one per box a lot of the time. And I had the same feeling and the same problem with another game, which is Future Card Buddy Fight. To feel like that if I want to stay relevant in the metagame and still play a deck that I can enjoy and love, and dedicate time to, that I would need to invest into cards that could be phased out in like 2 sets. Um, and I because I felt that hard with Kagura. Like I built a standard Kagura deck, barring Waterfall, because I was like, oh, I don't want to spend $100 on a playset for a standard deck. I want to see how standard does. Which was reasonable, especially, and then lo and behold, like Oracle Think Tank was everywhere. Um, and then eventually like Shadow Paladin was everywhere, and so on and so forth, and it kept the same kind of Vanguard flow, but the meta relevance of certain decks is faster wiped out now compared to before. Like before, I could play a premium Kagero deck and do okay. Not do great, but do okay. Or a G format Kagero deck, I should say. As long as I made a few tweaks and I understood my local matchups and whatever else have you. Now that flexibility is gone because the game has reverted back to where it's a little bit more luck intensive than it used to be. And people can argue, be like, oh, but every game has luck. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is like in G era and premium, you could kind of manipulate what you were doing either by thinning out your deck or figuring out what plays you want to line up. Like for example, Royal Paladins, even Altmile. Altmile could just drag out every grade 2 in the deck and then like leave a bunch of triggers for you to hit. And with a triple drive, you're likely going to hit them. And if you set up your plays right, you're doing awesome. And if you had the 0th dragon on top of all of that, Ultima, you could just set up more triggers and like just secure that victory right whenever you needed it to happen. And Altmile wasn't even a meta relevant deck. It's not even in premium format. So that's part one. Like and to tie into that, part two is that to stay up with, and maybe you're saying, well, that's G era versus now and standard and premium. To tie into that, to keep up with premium, you have to keep up with standard, and I do not like that. I can't just take a my G era deck, get a couple of updates like, you know, the perfect guard triggers and a thing here or there. Granted, that deck's gone now, but that's another video for another time. And just play my G era Kagero deck and have it be relevant, and that did not work. The deck would be outclassed easily because the force markers are so powerful. Being able, or sorry, just the markers are so powerful in the game. Like getting an extra circle, getting a 10k boost just cause, getting a perfect guard in hand. All of those effects outpower anything that G era could do. especially with strides just like incorporated with that. So it feels like premium is off the rails. It feels like it's just keeps going up and up and up in the power creep. And I like and originally I was like, man, I'm going to be a standard player because I personally am the kind of card player that sticks to one type of format. Hi, Sophie. And I like going, oh, okay, like in Magic. Well, maybe I play Commander, but I kind of dig standard. I like the freshness of a new format. Vanguard killed that for me because of the need to keep up with new product. Having VRs being one per box is ridiculous. Like, hey, here's a playset of Draconic. Like, every deck is $60 to $100 entry for your 4 main grade 3s that you need, plus whatever else that you are trying to accomplish. Hey, you. Where's your tablet? Why don't you go play on it, okay? Oh, sorry, my fiance's calling me. I'm going to have to get back to her. To continue on with what I am saying is, it's very difficult to be able to feel like, hey, I want to go and buy 4 boxes of Vanguard because I'm trying to get that specific grade 3 I need. Before it was like, oh, I might get like 2 or 3 of the G unit I needed, and I still have all my core component grade 3s because they're pretty easy to come by. And a lot of the time that was the case. Like for whenever I had the gold, I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. It's been a while. The gold paladin deck for V series, I had like 3 of the grade 3 and like 2 of the grade 4, and I'm like, well, okay, out of the 4 boxes, I have trade materials to trade for other things I need, and I have a good amount toward my deck. I don't feel like you have the same sort of parallels in standard now. I feel like it's a money pit. I feel like Vanguard is this game that is expensive as all get out because it has a decent to good following, but then you're playing to just play. I don't know. I feel like I feel like the price support's lackluster unless you hit ARGs up, and I feel like the game just took the wrong turn. They wouldn't have VRs. Let's say, let's say VRs would be something different every box. Let's say VR was like a marker, okay, a nice expensive marker for your deck, or a special like Cray Elemental card that was good for every deck that you would want. Something a little bit more pushed back so it's not part of your main theme. I would be investing in the game still. I'd be like, okay, well, I can get 4 boxes and all my triple rares and double rares are relevant. I can get the grade 3s I need. And yeah, there is an argument for some of the budget decks. Like, Zero, the Vermilion is like 79 cents. I get that. But Vermilion isn't topping events. Vermilion isn't pushing the envelope for a competitive player, and I am a competitive player. I want to try to go to events, and I want to try and do my best. That's always been my goal in card games. Like, be it locals, be it a regional, be it any of the sort. I want to try and see how far I can go with the most competent version of a deck that I can put together. And that's what interests me. And Bushiroad has eliminated that without spending, like I said, baseline of $60 to $100 to put into a deck immediately, and then figure out the rest of the numbers for the rest of the deck you got to build. And the reason I'm saying that is because the VRs, you can't just buy 4 boxes and then magically get all the VRs that you want. It doesn't work that way. It's if they had like individual boxes where it's like, oh, okay, here's the Kagura theme box, here's the Royal Paladin theme box, and there's 1 VR, and you get 1 per box, and you can buy 4 of that, and it's like all stuff for your deck. Sure, then there'd be an argument to buy into it if they sectioned off like different boxes for of different clans for different people. I could see that, but they aren't. So because of all the issues that Bushi in directions Bushiroad has taken, they're kind of following Konami's example of like expensive cards mean meta decks, and I'm like, well, if I'm faced with expensive cards mean meta decks for a game that doesn't have as much support as the big three, I might as well play one of the big three. That's why I've been playing and focusing on Yu-Gi-Oh! Hey, sweetheart. And because, like with Magic, I hate Mana Screw. Are you saying hi? Say hi.
Hi.
My daughter, she just wanted to come and say hello. Say hi, Sophie.
Hi.
Love you, kid.
Uh-oh.
And Pokemon, I have tried to get Kitmits into it as many times as over, and she just doesn't care for the gameplay. She's gonna be cute like this. Sorry if that bothers anyone. I hope it doesn't. She's adorable. My kid, everybody. And I kind of feel like Pokemon has the same. Oh, you okay? Get up. You okay?
Yeah.
You okay? Put your arms up. Okay.
I got my poop on my butt.
Okay, come here. Oh, she tripped over something. There we go. Sorry about that. She's good though. Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, say you're okay, right? Okay. Just spooked. Anyway, so that's kind of my disconnect with Vanguard. And like I said, I tried to get Kitmits into Pokemon. She doesn't care for it. They kind of have the same baseline issues that Vanguard does, that the important cards are hidden in like some of the boxes. They're harder to get. It's not always the case, but they kind of have the same ratio issue. Like you're trying to get that Pokemon GX you need or whatever, and that and that GX is you like 60 or $70, and you buy 3 or 4 boxes and you don't get it. Instead, you get like the $5 GX. So it has that issue with it, and I know like Yu-Gi-Oh has the same problem, but at the same time too, because Yu-Gi-Oh is not a rotating format, and Yu-Gi-Oh is chock full of reprints. People argue, well, the game doesn't hold value. It does. You can easily get the cards you need, and know that if you're going to invest the money immediately, your money's going to be good for a good long time. And there are certain cards that just won't be touched because they're too specific or they're healthy for the metagame, even if they're expensive. And if not, eventually down the pipeline, they will get a reprint. And then not all of those cards are needed either to win. I know I'm saying that to, like, because, oh, Justin, or Zero, you're talking about expensive cards and all this other stuff. Yes, I am investing in them. That doesn't mean you have to do well. Because I have a regional coming up this Sunday that I'm going to. So it's a little bit different for me. So now to move on about like the odd games, I just kind of want to cover why I'm moving away from Vanguard, and I'd like to put my resources toward a game that is supported. So I know I've ranted for like 15 minutes, but this is going to be a long video. Sorry if you're still here. Cool, thank you for caring. Now to the other games like Buddy Fight. Okay, honey. Like Buddy Fight, like Pokemon. Other games I featured on the channel that, even Forcible, they haven't been well received, or they are worse than like Vanguard. Buddy Fight, when I played, I would spend time working on a tier 1 deck. Like, oh, there's decks everywhere. Cool, I'm going to build it. The next set came out, and my deck was trash. I was like, wow, I spent all this time trading. I spent all this time investing. I wanted to make this deck because I really loved the idea of it. And now it's worthless. So Buddy Fight's not going to be on the channel because it is a worse power creep game, at least from when I played, compared to now. And even the hold on one second, even the advertisements for the game, it feels like there's something out every week, every month. I kid you not. I will be watching Vanguard. I will watch like one episode and then another episode, and then like by the third or fourth episode, it seems like there's a new Buddy Fight product that they're advertising. I'm like, wow, that seems really hard to keep up with if you want to stay relevant in the metagame. So I'm not going to be playing Buddy Fight. I'm sorry. It was a neat thing to put on the channel, but it just isn't self-sustaining. Okay, Pokemon Force of Will, and even strangely Magic the Gathering are probably not going to show up on the channel aside from like weird special like one-time videos. All of the Magic the Gathering videos have incredibly low views. Force of Will, I think I posted some stuff. Also the same thing though. And there's other Force of Will avenues that you can go, especially like Roller School. Please go check them out if you are here for Force of Will. He produces way better content than I ever could, and is in the know. In fact, I watch him, so I learn about the game because like I'm a noob and I have this guy who isn't even that good, and I don't even think he competes. So it's like super casual, just to play with friends. I finally put it together because it was a fun deck, and then we're just gonna play like all get out, like probably doesn't matter formats, whatever, with my buddies. And I played that card because I like the idea of that deck. So that's as simple as that. Super casual. Pokemon has also not had a great view. A great view count on here whenever I try different things, and it didn't push the envelope. Sorry, I'm reading something from my fiance. Sorry, recording a video. Okay, sorry about that. This is live stream, so I can't really go back because it'll still appear on the channel. So if I'm interrupted in this video, I apologize. Thank you for staying with me, who is watching me. Much appreciated. Okay. Live stream. Can't cut out things. Okay, there we go. All right. Hopefully she understands now because she was getting concerned, and I mean reasonably slow. So she doesn't know I'm doing this, and I should have informed her, but she was at a work meeting. That's just some slice of life stuff. Anyway, back to the discussion. Pokemon also did not have a great view count, even though I think it was kind of casual with the channel. It's also hard for me to keep up with it, like barring buying her plushes and stuff like that. And like the video games, Pokemon the card game, is much fun as I would personally have with it. Kitmits is not interested in it mostly at all, aside from maybe a casual level and oh that's cute, or this is cute, or I like Eevee, or I like Mew kind of stuff. And I am not super interested in it either because rotating formats were great for games like Magic, because if something got too absurd, it would be out in a matter of speaking. But they also have a lot more balance than like Pokemon does, because I've noticed Pokemon can have some really degenerate decks because they have degenerate trainers. to explain, trainers are like spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! You just get to play them unlimited times, and any card that has unlimited use is usually bananas. And that's Pokemon. And where I may play it on a casual level, somebody hands me a deck and then I pick up a deck and play it, I'll play it with them. I understand the rules. I know how to play the game for fun. Sure. But the next thing that I'll say is the thing I'm introducing to the channel. And this is, if you got like the gist, like those are the games that I'm cutting off. Now we're going to go to the games that I'm adding on. If you would like to continue watching, wonderful. If not, and you just want to know what I'm removing from the channel, this is a good stopping point. Now, to tell you what I'm adding to the channel, you've already seen it. I'm adding Bakugan. Bakugan is an exciting game that I have to work on getting games recorded. Right now, I have a bunch of decks and stuff to build, but with the ARM, I can't really. It's hard for me to sit down and record because I have to stretch. Like whenever I record, I'll show you guys. I record in this little space right here, and I put the camera that I would be recording with. I gotta adjust that. Okay, like right in this space. It's my. I have it on the tripod here, like so, and I set it in front of me. So, like I usually crank this guy up, and then I have it going down, pointed. And I have to stretch my arms in front of the camera to show that. I can't do that with my shoulder, and there's a possibility that I messed up my elbow too. So that I wanted to get out of the way to explain a little bit as to why, like, well, why can't you record this? Well, that's why. And I might have messed, like I said, I might have messed up my elbow a little bit whenever I'm stretching. But whenever this gets better, I fully plan on embracing Bakugan. I have to travel a little bit to get a video game or videos recorded for that. My Kimmits isn't too interested in that. So it'll be with my friends who are. Even if it's using my decks, like my decks versus my decks, I've put together like 4 or 5 decks for the game. I'm kind of going a little nuts on it because I believe in the game. It's super fun. It adds elements like, oh, well, if your Bakugan doesn't open, or if you are the one who has your Bakugan open, you're the one controlling the game flow. Stuff like that's really cool. Or your deck might be really powerful and you're going to win because of it. There's multiple factors to it that I like. That me as a gamer, for a game that I'm currently playing casually, competitively, would enjoy. The second thing I am considering adding, and we will see how it goes, is the Transformers TCG. This is a big question mark right now. I'm not gonna lie, because I only have like 1 or 2 packs. I can't remember what GameStop had, and like the starter decks. Kimmits has 0 interest in Transformers, so she and I will not be recording.
Why is this, Daddy?
I don't know, honey, but I'll throw it away for you. Anyway, she has 0 interest in the Transformers TCG. As far as I know, she likes the movies and stuff, but she's not really super big on, I think, the card game. Unless I can convince her of it, but I doubt it. Maybe she'll like it. I don't know. Probably not, but I'll see what I can do. Anyway, so that is a work in progress that if I do get some recording in, it will be with my friends who have more resources, and maybe they have like stuff I can pull from, trade from for a deck and put it together. Okay. Third game, Dragon Ball Super. So I was recording this game a bit and wanting to put videos up. The problem is that a game like Super is much akin like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! In the sense that you'll typically own like one, maybe two decks, and there won't be like that gauntlet play back and forth. Unlike Vanguard, where we could before build like maybe a budget deck, Here's a better deck. Here's a better deck. Let's play and make games. Super's different. I can't. I would really love to find a deck that I could do that, or a game that I could do that with, to have like a gauntlet type format where people could go, oh, this is fun. So Super is also a giant question mark right now as far as what to bring to the channel or not. It might just be where I take my camera with me when the weather is nicer, more like spring, summertime, and maybe record games and upload them on the channel if there's interest in that. But they're also lengthy games. The nice thing about Vanguard is that they were shorter games. So we'll see. Because attention span's a thing. I'm surprised if people are still watching this video. Thank you. Because I am really trying to give as much in-depth information as I can to everybody. For those who subscribe to the channel and are interested in knowing what's going on. This is a video that I'm actually putting a lot of thought and time into. It's also why it's kind of a live stream too. Finally, the fourth game, and this is a big question mark more than the other ones, is this. And you can't see it, at least I don't believe so, but if you look, that says Speed Duel on it. If that format gets support, Kidmits and I may record Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, Speed Duel games, for everybody. I need to watch the market. The reason it's not a big question mark on me, I would 100% invest in Speed Duels. The big question mark for me is if the format is going to be supported and if it is a lasting thing. Duel Links is hot. Duel Links is a wonderful format, and it's the smartest thing that Konami could do to breathe life into the game for players who like the old school type of play. There is a meta game. There are tier 1 lists. You will have to dump money into the game. It's a digital game like Hearthstone and the rest of them, where your dollars are never going to come back into real life and reimburse you. If you're building a deck on there, even if it gets phased out in the metagame, that's the deck you're building. So there is that downside to Duel Links, but if you mean for it to be a competitive game that you're going to play, it's worth the investment. I'm just going to put that out there. It's just like Hearthstone and the rest of them. You're accepting that you're buying a product strictly for enjoyment, not for value later on down the line. The difference between Duel Links and the Speed Duel format is that the Speed Duel format is a physical card game. So is there going to be value? Is everything going to be cheap? I'm not sure. Right now, if I would make a small investment, and I've been considering it, of adding in like 2 more of each of the rest of the Speed Duel decks, we can make some pretty powerful, competent decks. I mean, you get like 6 decks. For like each $10 thing comes with 3 decks. So if you buy that, twice more, you can like have maybe even like 7 or 8 decks. Kind of splitting off some strategies. Like I know Mai's deck is like 2 in 1, so if you split off like her Harpies and her Amazons, you could have a fairly good and competent deck. And I'm pretty sure like I haven't looked too hard into it, but like that's like the level of cards you get from buying 2 of the decks. So just imagine that, like 3 times more. Your card pool is pretty giant. Like there's even like tunes and stuff like that. So maybe I'll try for that. But I've got to talk to her. I got to clear this card game table off. I've been working on deck projects and other things in my spare time. And being a dad is also busy work. Like that's why I'm finally like, hey, I have like a half hour to talk to people roughly. So that is the channel direction from here on out is that I think I'm going to be minimizing content to what I can do after this is taken care of. Like after my shoulders. Hi, Giggle Putt. After my hold on, okay, I'll be with you in just a minute. I'm almost done. Okay, you've been very good. Thank you. So minimizing the channel's content, making it more focused, and kind of revitalizing it a little bit with things like Bakugan, hopefully speed duels, and we'll see how far or what comes on the pipeline for the Transformers TCG. Like I said, I'm not promising anything to that, but there is a another channel called Rec and Roll, and it's RULE. I think it's just like an N with an apostrophe. So check them out for Transformers TCG content if you're interested in that. I mean, they kind of inspired me. Maybe I want to work towards something like that. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. We'll have to see how much the game grows to in our general vicinity, because there's a lot of activity in card games that people want to play, like Bakugan and then like Transformers and stuff. And so it's hard to gauge focus and maybe like promote play and other things. Anyway, so that is kind of my ranting / update video. I know it's long, but it had to be because this is chock full of details of everything that's going on. So until further notice, like I said, I'm on a short hiatus because of my previously dislocated shoulder. March 12th cannot come soon enough for me to get more direction on what's going on. And I guess at the end of this, I'll say if you're going to be at the Pittsburgh Regional this upcoming Sunday, come say hi if you recognize me. Anyway, so that's everything for now, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and take care, YouTube. Have a good one. Peace, everybody.